The toilet paper flap is supposed to hang over the front in the over position. This is not an opinion. The original patent filed by Seth Wheeler in 1891 includes a diagram showing the flap coming over the top toward the user. The over position keeps the flap accessible and visible. The under position tucks it against the wall and makes it harder to find. The correct orientation has been documented for over 130 years and people still argue about it at dinner parties. Are you team over or team under for your toilet paper? Drop it in the comments below. The extension cord loop knot takes 30 seconds to learn and keeps the cord from unplugging itself. You make a loop in the cord near the outlet end, pass the plug end through the loop, and then plug in. When the cord pulls taut, the loop tightens around it instead of pulling the plug from the wall. Electricians use this on job sites. It works on every extension cord ever made. The cord has always been capable of holding itself in. The blender has a fill line for a reason. Hot liquids expand when blended. Filling the blender more than halfway with anything hot creates pressure that blows the lid off. The contents go onto the ceiling. This has happened to enough people that it is a documented kitchen injury. The fill line is not a suggestion. It is the point at which the physics of the machine stop working in your favor. Toothbrush pressure is the most common mistake in the bathroom. The bristles clean through contact, not force. Pressing hard splays the bristles outward and reduces the surface area touching your teeth. It also strips enamel and recedes gum lines over time. Dentists recommend holding the brush with 2 fingers instead of a full grip to prevent overpressing automatically. Most people grip it like they're sawing through a 2x4. The padlock does not open by pulling up on the shackle. It opens by pushing the shackle down while turning the key or dial. Pulling up on a locked padlock compresses the internal mechanism and makes it harder to open, not easier. Most people yank upward on a padlock their entire lives, decide it's stuck, yank harder, and eventually get it open by accident when the pressure releases. The lock was never stuck. You were holding it wrong. The pasta pot does not need to be filled to the top. The water only needs to cover the pasta by a few inches. More water takes longer to boil, uses more energy, and makes no difference to how the pasta cooks. Every time you have stood at the stove waiting for a full pot to boil, you were waiting for water that was not doing anything. The small bumps on the F and J keys on your keyboard are not decorative. They are home position markers for your index fingers. Every other finger has a default resting key measured from those 2 points. Touch typists never look down because the bumps tell their hands where they are. The markers have been on keyboards since the 1980s. If you have ever hunted for keys with 1 finger, you were ignoring a navigation system built into the hardware. Your refrigerator is probably set too cold. The ideal temperature is between 35 and 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Below that, the compressor runs longer than necessary, your energy bill goes up, and food freezes against the back wall and turns to mush. Most refrigerators ship from the factory set colder than the recommended range. The dial has been in the wrong position since the day it was delivered. The hole at the end of your pot or panhandle is a utensil rest. It's sized to hold a spoon or spatula upright while you cook. Instead of setting a dripping spoon on the counter or balancing it across the pot, you slide it through the hole and it stays in place. The hole has been on cookware for decades. Most people use it to hang the pan on a rack and never think about it again while they look for somewhere to put the spoon. The small loop stitched to the back of a dress shirt between the shoulders is a hanger loop. Before lockers became standard in American universities in the 1950s, students hung their shirts on single hooks between classes. The loop let the shirt hang without creasing from a hanger. It became a style feature after the practical need disappeared. The loop still works. A shirt hung from that loop on a single hook comes off wrinkle-free. Most people cut it off because they do not know what it is. The tiny pocket inside the right pocket of your jeans was designed for a pocket watch. Levi Strauss added it to the original waist overall design in 1879 when pocket watches were standard accessories that needed protection from the rough denim. The watch is gone. The pocket stayed. It fits 1 AirPod. It fits a folded receipt. It fits the pocket watch it was designed for, which you do not own. The 57 embossed on the neck of a Heinz ketchup bottle is not a marketing number. It is instructions. The glass bottle is designed so that when you hold it at a 57-degree angle and tap that spot firmly, the ketchup flows. The glass tapers at exactly that point to break the vacuum seal inside. Heinz has known this since the bottle was designed. They put the number on the bottle, but nobody ever reads it. The arrow next to the fuel pump icon on your dashboard points to the side of your car where the gas tank is. Every car has it. It has always been there. You have rented cars, borrowed cars, pulled into gas stations, and walked around the vehicle guessing. And the answer was on the dashboard the entire time. The metal tip on your measuring tape is not loose because it is cheap or worn out. It moves deliberately. The amount it slides matches its own thickness exactly. When you hook it on the end of something, it extends out, adding its thickness to the measurement. When you press it flat against a surface, it slides back, subtracting that same thickness. One tip works for both inside and outside measurements automatically. Aluminum foil boxes and plastic wrap boxes have small perforated tabs on each end. When you push them in, they lock the roll in place so it stops falling out every time you pull. The tabs have been printed on the box your entire life. The roll has been launching itself onto your kitchen floor for no reason. The stapler on your desk has a plate on the bottom that rotates. One direction drives staples inward for a permanent hold. Flip the plate the other direction and the staples bend outward, creating a temporary hold that pulls apart easily. It has been a two-function tool the entire time. Most people discover this by accident after years of ownership and feel personally betrayed. Bobby pins go wavy side down. The wavy side grips the hair and holds the pin in place against the scalp. Most people install them wavy side up because that is how they look in the packaging. Installed correctly, they grip significantly better and stay in place through the day. The pin has one correct orientation, and it is the opposite of how most people use it. The Tic Tac lid is a single-serving dispenser. When you hold the container upside down and open the lid flat, one Tic Tac drops into the lid. The lid is shaped and sized to hold exactly one. You are supposed to tip it into your hand from there. Most people shake the entire container into their palm and catch 4 or 5 at once. The lid has been a dispenser since 1969. The solo cup has 3 ridged lines near the bottom. The first line is 1 ounce, the amount for a standard spirit serving. The second line is 5 ounces, the amount for a standard wine pour. The third line is 12 ounces, the amount for a standard beer. The lines are measuring guides printed into the cup design. Every party where someone used a solo cup and poured by eye, the measuring guide was right there on the cup. A wooden spoon laid across the top of a pot of boiling water prevents it from boiling over. The spoon pops the bubbles as they rise and reach the edge. It works because the dry wood destabilizes the surface tension of the foam. It is not a myth or a trick. It is basic physics, and it saves you from cleaning the stove every time you boil pasta. The Chinese takeout container is designed to unfold. The wire handle detaches. The container itself opens out flat into a rectangular plate. You were never supposed to eat out of the container. It is a plate that folds into a box for transport. Every time you have hunched over a takeout container with a fork, you were eating off the packaging instead of the dish it unfolds into. The juice box has 2 flaps on the sides that fold outward. They are handles designed for small hands. When unfolded, they give a child a stable grip on both sides without squeezing the box. Squeezing the box is what shoots juice out of the straw and onto their shirt. The handles prevent the squeeze. They are on every juice box made for children, and most parents have never unfolded them. The cup plunger and the flange plunger are different tools for different jobs. The cup plunger is a flat rubber dome. It is designed for flat surfaces like sinks and bathtubs. The flange plunger has an extended rubber collar that folds out from inside the dome. That collar fits into a toilet drain and creates a seal. Using a cup plunger on a toilet means you are pushing air around the drain instead of creating pressure inside it. Most households own one plunger. Most of them own the wrong one for the job they use it for. Storing peanut butter upside down solves the oil separation problem permanently. The oil rises to the top of the jar during storage. When the jar is upside down, the oil rises toward what is now the bottom, which becomes the top, when you flip it right side up to open it. The peanut butter stays consistently mixed without stirring. The jar works exactly the same. You just store it the other way. What thing on this list surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments.